Okay, everyone, I think we are good to get started. So let me share my screen. Okay, any questions, any doubts before we get started? Okay, then we can get started. Agenda for today is to complete the looping statements and move towards collection data types like list, tuple, and etc. Okay. So yesterday we learned about for loop and we understood that how using for loop we can repeat a particular action or repeat a particular task for n number of times, right? We'll learn a little bit more about these looping statements. So we'll start with loop control statements, which means there are few statements which can control the flow of how many times the loop will run, which means even if a okay, yeah. So even if a loop is set to run, let's say 10 times, you can still have another statement which can prematurely stop the loop or which can basically help you in changing the normal flow of a loop. Okay, so let's talk about those statements, and I'm talking about things like break and continue. Now, what is break? Break means very simple. Break is a simple statement which actually is used to exit a loop immediately. Okay, even if the loop condition is still true, and even if the loop is set to run, let's say 10 more times, but the moment it encounters a break, it immediately exits the loop. For example, if I write for I in range 10. So if I write for I in range 10, obviously this is set to run for 10 times, right? Like if I print I, it will print everything from 0 to 9. So you know that this loop is set to run for 10 times. It will run 10 times, right? But I can stop it prematurely. Like for example, what I can do is I can simply write over here that if I is equal to 5, the moment I becomes equals, the moment I becomes equal to 5, I will break. I've just written a statement break. Now what will happen is it will only run till 4. The moment I becomes 5, the loop breaks at 5 and stops entirely. So everything will run normally. I mean, the range is generating numbers from 0 to 9. So I will be initially 0, the condition is false, 0 gets printed. Then I becomes 1, condition is still false, 1 is printed, 2 is printed, 3 is printed, 4 is printed. The moment I becomes 5 and we enter the loop, this condition becomes true. The moment this condition becomes true, the break statement is executed. Now, it's like applying brakes. No matter how much your loop is supposed to run, the moment break gets executed, it entirely comes out of the loop and the loop finishes its execution. Even if it was set to run for even if it was, set to run for 6, 7, 8, 9 numbers as well. But still, it will prematurely come out and break. That's the use case of break. Clear with this one?
Yes, Meghna. So it can always be written after the first if condition, and it has to be written in the
It can
second
be
line.
written anywhere. It's not
Okay.
necessary that it has to be written inside a break. It can be written anywhere, but it depends on your use case.
Okay, got it.
If there are like nested loops, the inner loop will get exited, right, Meghna? Not the both the loops.
If the break is present inside the inner loop, then the inner loop will get exited. But if the break is present in the first loop, then first loop also will get exited. Obviously, internal loop in that case will also get exited.
Meghna, is it fair to understand that whatever is there before the break, the code will run until 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
So if your code is somewhere like this, let's say. Okay, let's say it's somewhere like this. Wait 1 second. We had a code yesterday. Yeah. And now let's say I'm writing that if I is equals to 10, break. So now if you see, the sum calculated is only till 55. It is not the sum of every numbers from 1 to 50. The moment I became 10, it broke, like it came out of the loop, and that's it. The total was calculated only only till I is equal to 10. If you want, you can quickly print also at every step. Print. Now see, at every step you can see what is the value of I and what is the value of total right now. Total obviously is getting summed up of all the numbers of I till now. The moment I became 10, because this calculation and this print statement is before my if, so we did the calculation that I is 10 and total is right now 55.
Here we are saying that it will break after the variable is 10 in that range.
It's very simple. At the moment I became 10, we basically executed all the codes that were present. Then the condition became true. It's a line by line execution, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, the moment I became 10, we basically came out of the statement or the loop. Loop got exited immediately, and that's it, finished.
Okay.
Got it, everyone? Uh, Everybody clear with break?
Yes.
Okay. Moving on to the next control statement, which is continue. Now, continue is similar, but it is a little different. What it does, it basically skips the current iteration, right? It skips the current iteration and it moves to the next one. Okay. So for example, if I write this, the same code that we had earlier. Now, instead of break, if I write continue, now when I run the code, if you see in this case, everything got printed except 5. That's the work of continue. When the moment I became 5 and the condition became true, it skips that particular execution. It skips the loop or the iteration for when I is equals to 5. Only that particular iteration gets skipped and it moves to the next one, which is when I became 6. So everything became, everything ran as it was supposed to. Only for 5, we could skip the execution.
Meghna, in this case, here I is equal to 5. Can we give multiple, can we assign multiple things to I variable, multiple values, like
You
6?
can't assign multiple values to I variable, right? I is your iterator variable, your temporary variable. It is supposed to run for the range of 10. So it will go on
No, no,
and
no, no, no.
eventually run for 0, 1, 2.
That
Like,
that understood. That line is defining the range. Then we said if I is equal to 5, colon continue.
yeah, this is not an assignment. This is a condition check. It's
Yes,
check
in
if
that condition
I's
check.
value is equals to 5 or not.
So can we, in the same condition check, I is equal to 5, comma 7, comma 9, can we give like that, or it should
No,
only be?
you cannot give comma in conditions. So you can give or I equals to 6 or I is equals to 7. So you're checking if I
Okay.
is equals to 5 or 6 or 7, you will basically continue, which
Okay.
means you
So,
will skip. So for 5, 6, 7, the iteration skipped, it moved to 8 and 9.
oh, good. I didn't know how to phrase the question properly, but that was my thing. So in the condition check, we can, it's not mandatory that it's one. We can have multiple.
Yeah, it's a if condition. You can have anything in your if condition of your choice.
Okay. And in that space of or, can we also have and? Then I think,
Obviously, anything.
okay.
How a normal if works, you can
It,
have that exactly over here. There's no restriction.
okay.
Okay,
So, and it can be numbers, it can be string, it can be list,
anything.
anything.
Yeah,
Okay. Got
anything.
it.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like for example, in this case, I am checking that if I mod 2 is not equals to 0, continue. Which means what am I doing over here? Can anybody tell what will be the output in this case?
Odd numbers will be skipped.
Are you sure?
Give a minute.
Odd numbers will be skipped.
Mm-hmm. What about others? Can you print the output in the chat box? Can you write the output, everybody? Exactly. Only the even numbers will get printed, right? Because it's actually very simple. See, range 1, comma 11 will generate every number from 1 to 10, right?
Yeah. 2, 4,
The
6, 8, 10.
Yeah. So the moment I becomes any, whenever I becomes any odd number, like for example, when I was 1, the condition was true. In that case, condition was true because 1 is not divisible by 2. That's exactly the condition. So this condition is true. So exactly that's the reason why the, printing of I got skipped. When I became 2, The condition was false, so it went ahead and it printed I. When I became 3, again the condition became true. That's the reason continue got executed and we skipped that iteration. And 3 also did not get printed. For 4, the condition was false. We went ahead and we printed it. That's the reason only the even numbers are getting printed. Got that? Everybody clear till here?
Meghna, can you repeat it again, maybe?
Sorry?
Can you please repeat it again?
Yeah. So in this case, you are basically having numbers from 1 to 10, right? Like if in general, if you just understand the for loop over here without your if condition and etc., it will generate every number from 1 to 10, right? I is supposed to have, I is supposed to loop through every number from 1 to 10, right? Now, whenever a condition becomes true, only when the condition becomes true, continue gets executed. And when continue gets executed, we basically skip the iteration of that particular number. And when will the condition become true? The condition is I mod 2 is not equals to 0. That means I'm checking numbers that are not divisible by 2. So only for odd numbers, this condition will become true. And the moment it's an odd number, condition becomes true, continue gets executed. Whenever continue gets executed, what it does is it skips the iteration and it moves to the next iteration. So
Geçen sağlık. Oyun. Mama şey. Gerçekten değil yaşmış. Demiş ataslı bu demiş şeyin haber.
sorry,
Demiş kala boya.
I think somebody got unmuted. Anyway, so when I was 1, that's when the condition was false, right? Sorry, my bad. When I was equals to 1, 1 mod 2 is not equals to 0. So the condition is true, right? So when condition is true, continue got executed and this iteration for I equals to 1 got skipped and we went to I equals to 2. So for all odd numbers, this condition will become true. Continue will get executed and we will skip the iteration for them and move to the next one.
Got it. Thank you.
Meghna, I'm
Yep.
still having doubt. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Shouldn't the output be 3, 5, 7? I'm getting confused. I'm sorry. Because 3 divided by 2, then we get a remainder 1. It's not
Yes, it
equal to
is not
0.
equals to 0, right?
Yeah, it is not equal to 0.
So the condition is checking if the remainder is equals to 0 or not. Sorry, my bad. The condition is checking if the remainder is not equals to 0 or not, right? So whenever
Huh.
you divide a number by 2, if that number is completely divisible by 2, then the condition will become false, right?
Not equal to 0 or
If
equal
you
to
have a
0,
number
it will
like
become true.
no, if you have a number like 2, will the
Hmm.
condition become true or false?
0. It will be false.
It will be false, right?
Yes.
And if you have a number like 3, will the condition become
That will
true?
become true. That will become true.
Right? So for all the odd numbers, the condition will become true.
Yes. Right. Right.
This condition will become true for all odd numbers.
Yes.
So that means whenever a number is odd, we are basically executing continue for all the odd numbers.
Okay. Okay.
So all
So
the odd numbers will skip. We'll move only for the even numbers.
even numbers. Okay. But if it is true, it should give odd numbers only, no? If the
But
condition
that's
is
not
true.
the work is of continue, right? Continue is saying the moment the condition is true, let's say
Mhm.
for the number 3, the condition is true, continue got executed. So if continue gets executed, what happens? We skip the entire, whatever code is present over here, everything gets skipped. It completely skips and moves to the next number.
Okay. So it will not execute that condition, but the opposite then.
No. Again, don't go by executing condition. It's not about executing a condition. It's just checking for each value of I if the
Mhm.
condition is true or false. If the
Okay.
condition is true, it enters the it enters the if block and executes continue. See, if continue gets executed, the iteration is skipped. Whatever was supposed to run after this, everything is skipped. The loop gets skipped. That particular iteration gets skipped and it moves to the next number. So when I was equal to 1, the condition became true. Continue got executed. The moment continue got executed, it skips that particular iteration
Okay.
and moves to the next one. So
Yeah.
what is the next value? 2. That's the reason why I equals to 1 did not get printed, because print was after continue. When continue got executed, nothing was executed after it. It completely moved to the next iteration, which is I equals to 2. For I equals to 2, the condition was false, so it did not even execute continue. That's the reason why it got printed. Got it?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Meghna. Thank you.
All right. Is everybody clear till here?
Yes.
So print is out of if, or it is
Yeah, it
out.
is out of if, because the indentation, if you see the indentation, you will understand which code is under which block. Continue is the only code which is under if it has the indentation. Print is only inside for loop, not inside if.
So wherever if is false, then only print will execute it. Print will get
Yeah,
executed.
exactly.
Okay. Okay.
And it's actually very simple. If I over here change the condition and write that wherever I mod 2 is equals to 0, now your odd numbers will get printed, right? Because now for all the even numbers, the condition will become true. So continue will get executed for all even numbers. And that's the reason why it will skip the iteration for all even numbers and only print for the odd numbers. Got it? Only simple thing is continue skips the current iteration and moves to the next. The moment the condition became true, it skipped the current iteration and it moved to the next. Got it?
Got it. If in the stead of modulo, if we have placed division, then
Division will return quotient, right?
yes, okay, the complex numbers
No, not complex numbers. It's simple. If
with decimals, I mean to say.
in this case, none of the numbers which we divide by 2, none of the numbers will have their quotient as 0, right?
Yes.
That's the reason none of the numbers have their condition true. So everything will get printed.
Okay. Got it.
It's simple, right? If you write 10 mod 2, the answer will be 0, because remainder of this division, when you divide 10 by 2, the remainder is 0.
Yes.
But because modulus returns remainder, but division operator returns your absolute value of the division. So it is 5.0. When you divide 10 by 2, what is the answer? 5.0, right?
Yeah.
So none of the divisions will have.
It devised. It was the division happened 5 times, so it gives that.
No, why will the division happen 5 times? It's
Like 10 by 2, 5
simple.
times 2 is equal to.
Yeah, 5 times 2, right?
That's what I
So
mean to say.
2 into 5 is 10.
Yes.
So this got completely divisible, nothing is left. That's the reason the quotient became, or the answer became 5.0.
Yes.
Answer of division is your entire division answer. Whatever is there supposed to be the completely divisible answer.
Yeah. Got it.
And that can never be 0 for any number ranging from 1 to 10.
Got it.
Everybody clear till here?
Yes. Yes. Now, yes. Thank you.
Meghna, can you have one more statement after the print I?
Mm-hmm.
Anything, print something. Just to see. Can you execute this? Let's see.
1 second. Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah.
If it's continue, it's not like it only one line is skipped. Entirely everything is skipped.
Okay.
Right? So like let's say I write a code like this for I in range 1 comma 11. If I is equals to 3, we continue, and if I is equals to 5, we break. What will be the out? Wait 1 second. What will be the output in this case?
1, 2, 3. No.
Are you sure?
1, 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 4. Sorry.
Are you sure? That will be the entire output. What about others?
It's only 1 and 2 will be the answer.
Okay. Okay. That's right. The answer will be 1, 2, and 4. Right?
Okay.
Because the moment I becomes 5, we break. So the loop continue. I mean, when the moment the I becomes 5, we break. The loop is immediately exited. Right? Got it? So now is everybody clear till here? Break and continue is clear?
Yes, thank
Can
you.
you guys quickly execute till here? Is everybody done till here?
Couple of more minutes, Meghna.
Okay. Okay, let me know once you guys are done.
Meghna, can you run this code once? The ones which I've just pasted down.
You have not initialized your total. Your
Okay.
total is a variable which is not initialized outside your for loop. have to initialize it with some value. Initially total
Okay.
equals to 0.
0, yeah, yeah. 1 minute, I understood. Yeah.
Can we move forward, everybody, if you guys are done?
Yes, thank you.
Others, you're good? Okay. Next up, we'll learn a little bit more about loops. So in for loop, you can have a little more variation as well, which is called nested for loop. So nested for loop means a for loop within another for loop, right? It means putting one for loop inside another one. Okay, and how it runs is basically if you have two loops, one within another, the outer loop runs first, and each time the outer loop runs, the inner loop runs completely as well. So that's how nested for loops work. So if you imagine it to be like this, there is this first for loop. Okay, so let's say that for loop is I in range 1 comma 5, and inside this for loop I, let's say, print I somewhat like this. And let's say I have another for loop inside my outer loop, somewhat like this. Range I. Okay. So here what I'm trying to say is that obviously because execution occurs line by line, the outer loop runs first. And each time the outer loop runs, so let's say when I became equals to, because this is a range from 1 to 5, the moment I starts looping through this range and I becomes equal to 1, that's the first value for this loop, right? We enter the loop and this outer statement gets printed. Outer loop I is equals to 1. Okay, and we enter the next loop, which is the inner loop. So each time the outer loop runs, the inner loop runs completely. So when I is equals to 1, the entire for loop will run over there. So what will be the for loop in that case? In that case, the for loop will be equals to j in a range of I. J in range of I means I is currently 1. So j in range of 1. Range of 1 means nothing but 0. So for when I is equals to 1, j is equals to 0, and like that the loop will run. So if you look at the output over here, it will be somewhat like this. When I is equals to 1, okay, in inner loop, I is still equals to 1, j is equals to 0, it ran, came out. Now I became equals to 2. At that point of time, inner loop ran 2 times for 0 and 1. So it's like the outer loop is running first, and each time the outer loop is running, the inner loop runs completely, and then the outer loop goes to the next value, and again the inner loop runs completely. It's like a clock. It's like how a clock works, right? The hour hand is the outer loop, and the minute hand is like the inner loop. So for every 1 hour that the hour hand is moving, the minute hand is completely completing 60 full rounds, right? That's how the nested loops work, right? So when in outer loop I is starting with 1, in inner loop j will obviously run only till 0, because I have written in range I. And what is the value of I in the current iteration? 1. Right? So when I became 2, j will now run for 0 and 1, because in range of 2, range of 2 means 0 and 1 will be the possible values. And likewise. Got it? Is this clear till here?
When I is 1, how come j is 0?
J is 0. Even I had same question.
Sorry, come
Start,
again.
we have not mentioned.
Why
Start
is
is
J taking 0 and not 1?
Because if you write for j in range I, what is the value of I in the first iteration? 1. So if I
1.
just simply write a simple loop that for
J in
j
range
in range 1,
1.
what will be the value of j?
So it will take 0 and 1.
No, why 0 and 1? It will only be 0, right?
0,
It
yeah, okay,
always
okay.
moves, it always stops 1 behind the stopping.
1 behind here.
Also, when there is no range mentioned, default it will start with 0.
Yeah, if no starting value is mentioned, it will start from 0. So
Okay.
is this clear till here, everyone? What about others? Can you let me know if you are clear or not? Okay, let's try with a simpler example. If you understand how a for loop works, nothing else is required in this nested for loop. You just have to understand how is a for loop working and how is a for loop executed. Simple. It's just one loop within another, right? So let's say I have a code like this. And here I print I comma j. So in this case, what will be the output? Output will be somewhat like this. Now, why is this happening? Just understand the dry run, understand how it works, right? The outer for loop will basically run in a range of 3, which means this will generate numbers from 0 to 2, right? Can you guys keep answering with me?
Yes.
Now, that means the outer loop will run 3 times. Yes or no? Yes. And the inner loop, I have given a range of 2. Range of 2 means 0 and 1. That means this inner loop will run 2 times. Yes or no? So this, whenever something like this comes up, that means if the outer loop is going to, I'm writing it like this. The outer loop is going to run 3 times. And each time the outer loop runs, the inner loop is going to run 2 times. Right? So 3 into 2, 6. That's the reason why 6 outputs are here. right? Now, what is really happening over here? We start with I in range 3. So initially, the value of I will be what, guys? What will be the initial value of I?
0.
0, right? Initially, I will be equals to 0 because you're running in a range of 3. Yes or no, everyone?
Yeah.
Yes.
So when I is 0, we enter the loop and we are entering the inner loop. And at this point, when I is equals to 0, in inner loop, j will run in a range of 2. So j will initially be the value 0
0.
0
and
and 1.
1. So that's
Hmm.
the reason when j is equals to 0, the first output got printed, and when j became 1, the second output get printed, because you are printing I comma j. I is still 0. J will once become 0 and another time become 1. Till here, is it clear?
Meghna, can I, like a brute and a layman, understand the first line corresponds to the first loop and the second line correspond to J loop?
Yeah, the inner loop. This is the outer loop because obviously it is present on
The
the outer.
left-hand side one.
Yeah.
No, on the print results, the print result.
The I is part of the outer loop, J is part of the inner loop.
What I mean is the print, it is 0 0 0 1 1 0 1 1 2 0 2 1. So the first line corresponds to the outer loop
Yeah,
and the second line corresponds to the inner loop, which is J
yeah,
loop.
yeah,
Can I understand like that?
yeah.
Okay.
You can understand like that, but then if the print statements change, if the code change, you will get confused. So the
Okay.
best way to understand is understand the dry run step by step. Just understand how
Sure.
is for loop working.
And is it required that the loops should follow the sequence, outer loop, inner loop, and the inner one? Or can we also say print J comma I?
You can print anything you want to.
Okay. Because I want to understand, because my understanding grossly that the first line is for the outer loop and the second line is for the inner loop, then it is wrong. It should not be understood like that.
Yeah, it should not be understood. You can never
You
understand like
got my
that.
point here, Vinayak.
Yeah, you can never understand like that. The thing is,
Exactly.
how
Thus
you
I,
print that matters.
yeah. That's what I mean. Thus I wanted to, you know, say the disclaimer as a brute. Yeah, I think I
All right.
got it.
So if we just understand the for loop by its step-by-step process or dry run, it's important you understand it that way because you will not be able to form logics and problem solve later if you don't understand how a for loop is working, right?
No, no.
So in a
Makes
very
sense.
simple terms, make sure you understood a simple for loop. Okay, a simple for loop. If you simply understand a simple for loop, you will be able to understand this one as well. What does a simple for loop do? Whatever is your sequence or range of numbers, for each number it runs the loop, right?
So, for example, in this particular context, Meghna, if I have to paraphrase my understanding, for I in range 3 and then for J in range 2. So, for J in range 2 is the subsumption of the main range for I in range 3. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, so is that the standard practice in the sense the subsequent loops, how many ever should fall within the range of the main loop, the I loop, whatever it is?
No, it's not mandatory. The point is that your indentation should be maintained. That's how you are being able to
I
mix
mean to say that. I mean to say that in the sense that the indentation, as long as the indentation is under that first loop, I, for
Yeah.
example, here the first line for I in range 3. So all the indents which go under that should be the part of the main range.
No, this range is nowhere limited to this. The only thing
Okay.
that is limited is this for loop comes inside the outer for loop because it is under indentation.
Hmm. No. Got it. So it is not mandatory that the inner loops should be within the range of the outer loop.
No, there is no such mandatory rule, and there is actually no restriction on what do you want to put as your range or what do you want to print. You can do whatever you want to do inside a loop. You can put anything that you want inside your range. You just have to maintain your indentations, which means these spaces to make sure that
That's
you are.
That's it.
Ramarao, the thing is, you can have any range, no, irrelevant of the outer loop. Okay.
Mm,
Like you are confused because 3 and 2 is written. Not like that.
exactly. That's what I'm
It can
trying
be
to
anything.
understand.
It can be anything.
No problem. That said, Meghna and Vinayak, can you elucidate a real life example how we use this?
We will. Once we understand how this is working, then let's move to that point.
No
Right?
problem. Thank you. But I think now I'm very clear. Thanks to
Okay.
both of you, Vinayak and Meghna.
Yeah.
Meghna,
So
these nested loops are used often, is it, in the daily use while working with Python?
listen, there's nothing like often used. Again, it comes with use case, right?
Okay.
Whenever a use case arises, you might have to use it. But then you are the one who will decide that at this point, will I use a nested for loop or can I use a single loop? So for you to be able to decide that point, you need to understand everything to the depth so that you know that at this point I will have to use, like, it's like you have different options. Based on your use case, you will choose which one suits my use case. So when you're learning a topic, don't think about the fact that this is most used or that is most used. No such thing. You have to just focus on the fact that I am the problem solver. I know that these are the ways to solve a problem. Now, depending on what is my problem, I'll choose my method. Got it?
Okay, okay. Yeah, once you have a real-time example, then yeah, I think I'll understand it more.
Real-time example with respect to data analytics will come in a later point because you will now later understand how to read a
Yeah,
data. Once you read the data, then you will be using the loops and etc. But
okay.
for now, just understand the for loops working, right?
Yes, yes,
For
yes,
loops
definitely.
working is basically very simple. If there is a sequence given, the iterator value will contain every value in that sequence one by one. And for each value, it will continue and it will basically run the entire code inside the for loop for each value, right?
Yes, yes.
So when I became equals to 0, we entered the loop. And when we entered the loop, we faced another loop. And in that loop J, range is 2, which means the values possible is 0 and 1. So when I became, so what am I printing? I comma 0. So when I was 0, J was also 0. Because J is supposed to run 2 times, we again run J while I was still equals to 0. So that's why 0 comma 0 and 0 comma 1. Is that clear?
Yes, Meghna. Got it. Thank you.
Others
One more
clear?
suggestion,
Yeah.
if you want to, that link I've pasted in the chat, you can just uh, add this code over there, and it will show the step by step how the I and J are changing.
That is fine. See, even if I want, like how I printed over here, right? I'm printing the outer loop, inner loop. Whenever you want to debug or whenever you want to understand a code, the best way to do it is print the steps, right? Like you can print what is the value of I, what is the value of J at every step and etc. Which is a good suggestion. But just finish this execution and the dry run. It will be easy for you to understand as well. Okay.
Thanks, Meghna. Thanks, Vinayak.
Now we finished with J as 0 and 1. Once the J loop is finished, I'm done, right? There are no more codes to execute inside the I loop. Everything is done. So I'll move to the next value of I. What is the next value of I? Now I will become equals to 1. Yes or no?
Yes.
Once we are done with the previous loop, I will become the next value, which is 1. Yes or no?
Yes.
So at this point, J will again become 0 and 1. Yes or no?
Yes.
So now if I print I comma j, it will be 1 comma 0 and then 1 comma 1 for each value of j.
Yes. I'm thinking, but yes.
Now just think and let me know.
And will this happen hand in hand? The execution of it before it gave the print for it to print, will it happen hand in hand? I, J, like that, Meghna?
Yeah, because see, when I is equals to 1, you enter the next loop. While you enter the next loop, i's value is fixed for that loop, right? I will still be equals to 1 only, right?
Yes.
Now, when you enter this loop, it's like a loop. So you because j
It
is
will go
supposed to
back.
run 2 times, it will when j is running 2 times for the first run, I is still 1. And what is the value of j initially? 0. So
0.
the first time the j, I mean the first time the j loop is running, that's complete because j is equals to 0. We move to the next value of j. The next value of j is 1 because j is supposed to run 2 times. We know that. Once it will be 0 and once it will be 1. So when it became 1, at that point of time, also I is still 1. We did not come out of the loop. When we come out of the inner loop also, that's when the outer loop will change its value. But we are still in an inner loop. So I will still be 1 and j will now become 1. When j becomes 1, that's when we are done till here. That's when we come out and I moves to the next one. Got my point? Is it clear till here? All you have to understand as part of nested loops is one loop inside another. It's like, just think of it like the clock. That's the example that I started off with, right? So in your clock, you have the hour hand and you have the minute hand, right? So when the hour hand completes one rotation, right? When the hour hand completes one rotation, the minute hand at by that time completes 60 rotations. Yes or no?
Yeah.
That's the exact concept of nested loop. For every one step of the hour hand, the minute hand goes all the way around 60 times. So for every outer loop execution, the inner loop runs completely. So every time the outer loop is running, the inner loop will run completely. So outer loop is set to run 3 times. Inner loop is set to run 2 times. So when outer loop, first time when the outer loop is running, inner loop will run 2 times. Again, when next time the outer loop is running, inner loop will again run 2 times. So each time the outer loop is running, inner loop will run 2 times. Getting my point?
Yes, Meghna.
What about others? Are you getting my
I
point?
don't think it is not number of steps, but it is about number of cycles it will take.
Yeah, number of cycles, loops, runs,
Got it.
iterations.
Got it.
So in this, outer loop will take the value 0, 1, 2. Inner loop will take the value 0 and 1. So if you, again, if you want, you can print it entirely as well, like how I printed it earlier. Whenever you are facing an issue, print everything that is possible. So this is the outer loop, right? I know this is the outer loop. And then when I'm in my outer loop, I is I. And when I'm in my inside inner loop, see, when in outer loop I is 0, the inner loop starts running for j is 0. Then again the inner loop runs for j is equals to 1. That's when we finish the iteration and we move again to the outer loop, and now I became 1. Again, when I became 1, inner loop ran for j is equals to 0 and for j equals to 1. Got it?
Yeah.
Now is it being clear?
Yes, Maggie.
Can you guys quickly execute if you guys are done understanding? Okay, before you guys completely execute it, I remembered a good example. So, like you guys are asking that where can I use it in real time? Obviously, because it is related to data analytics and data uh, inciting in my data, but we have not yet reached the state of reading the data and using it, right? But apart from data, just imagine somebody says you that print weeks and days. Like just somebody says you that print which week it is and which day it is. So I can do something like for week in range 1 comma 5. There are 4 weeks in a month. So I'm running the week 4 times, and I'm going to run the day because there are 7 days in a week. So 7 times. And now what I'll do is I'll print something like week. So I'm printing what is the week number, and I'm printing day. So if you see, for every week, it is printing the days. Week 1, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6, day 7, week 2, week 3, week 4. So for every week, every day, it is like it is like something which calendar apps or scheduling systems can use. Weeks inside months, days inside weeks, and etc. Got it? Clear till here?
Yeah, I think this is for that I and J what we have done above.
Exactly.
00010
Yeah.
thing. Oh, got it. I think now it's much clearer. Still needs practice, Meg. Now, honestly speaking, I don't want to say yes, I understood. I think I got the concept, but for me to be able to see it myself, I have to practice couple of things. I will do
Yes.
that.
Yes. Can you guys try execute now with a little, like execute this and try to change the values a little. You will understand how it is working.
Okay.
Is everyone done, guys? Can others also let me know if you guys are done? Okay, cool. Moving on, let's learn a little new type of loops. I mean, this will be the last thing that we will learn in loop. After that, we'll only keep using loop, we'll not learn anything new, okay? But any which ways, I'm talking about another type of loop called while loop, right? So while loop is again a sort of loop. So which means that while loop is also supposed to keep running, right? Like how for loop runs and runs until, I mean, runs and runs for whatever number of times we have set the sequence. Same way, while loop also keeps running, but the only difference is it keeps running as long as a condition is true. Okay, so it's a little different from for loop, because in this case, unlike for loop, which usually runs like a fixed number of times when you're using range and etc., while loop runs when you don't know how many times do you want to run the loop, but you know that it should run until and unless a condition becomes false. It's like, I will keep eating all the cookies until and unless there are no cookies left in the box. That's, it's like saying that thing, right? And the syntax is very simple. You just write while, you give your condition and colon, and then after that you can write n number of quotes as in how you like it. Let me start with a simple example. So let's say I write a variable count is equals to 1. Now let's say my condition is while count is less than equals to 5. Okay, that's my condition. I'm going to print count is count, and I'm going to increase my count value. So I'm going to write plus equals to 1. So if you see, it prints everything. Count equals to 1, count equals to 2, count equals to 3, 4, 5. So what really happened over here? We started with a variable called count, whose initial value is set to 1. So initially count is equals to 1, right? Now I'm checking with the condition. Now the loop starts with checking condition. Is count less than equals to 5? See, right now the value of count is equals to 1. And I'm checking a condition. Is that less than equals to 5? Is 1 less than equals to 5? So condition is true or false, guys? What about others? Can you keep answering? When count is equals to 1, the condition that I'm mentioning in my while loop, is that true or false? Can everybody answer? Just try to answer. It will be easy for you to understand the topic.
If you can please get the question again.
See, initially I'm setting the variable count as 1, right?
1, yes.
So initially its value is 1.
1, yes.
Then I'm entering, and then I'm starting my while loop, right? And in that I'm checking if count is less than equals to 1. Like I mentioned, it's a condition. So I'm checking if count is less than equals to 5 or not.
5.
So is it true for current value of count?
No, it is true. It is less than 5.
It is less
is
than or
true, right?
equals to, right? It is
Yeah,
true.
less than or equals to. So it's true, right?
It is, yeah, I mean, less than
Yeah.
or equal to 5. So it is definitely within 5. So it is true. That's what I'm saying. Yes.
Right. So once it's true, once the condition is true, and only when the condition is true, we enter the loop. When we enter the loop, what are we printing? The value of count. What is the current value of count? 1.
1.
So one count is 1 got printed, right?
Yeah.
Then I'm writing count plus equals to 1. So what will be the value of count now?
1 plus 1.
So it will be 2, right?
Yes.
Is the condition still true? Now,
Yes, it is
is the
still
condition
less than
still
or
true?
equal. It is still less than or equal to 5. Yeah.
So that means here the second statement will also get printed.
Yeah. I think got it. Yeah.
Everybody, will the second statement also get printed, right?
Yes.
Then count again increments. It again becomes equals to 3. Is the condition still true when count is equals to 3?
Yeah, it's true.
It's still true, right? So again, count is 3 got printed. Again, an increment is happening. So count is again becoming equals to 4. Is 4 less than equals to 5? True.
True.
We again enter the loop. We again print the statement. Count again becomes 5. Is 5 less than equals to 5? Yes.
True.
True. We again enter the loop. We again print count is 5. And count now becomes 6. Is the condition again true?
False.
What about others? False. When count becomes 6, 6 is no longer less than equals to 5, right? So the condition becomes false
The loop terminates.
and the loop stops. That's it. The moment condition becomes false, the loop stops. And that's the reason only these many statements were printed. That's how while loop runs. Is that clear for everyone?
Yeah,
Yes.
clear.
What about others?
Meghna, if we don't say count, plus or equal to 1, and only print, that count and count, then we'll only get, what do we get then? 1, 2, 3,
No, if you're not.
until 4.
So you're saying that if you don't write this statement count plus,
Yes.
so then the count's value will stay the same. It will always be 1. It will
It will
not
be an
change.
infinite loop.
And it will run into an infinite loop, because in that case, your condition will always be true.
Because
Right?
it will always be less than, okay.
Yeah. So if you forget to update your value inside the loop, if you forget to update the variable inside the loop, it never ends. Like if I write something like x is equals to 1, while x is less than equals to 3, and print x, in this case, this will run forever, because x will always be equals to 1. You are never updating the value of x inside the loop. The condition is always true, and this will run into an infinite loop.
Can we run that once?
No,
No.
I won't be able to run it, because when I do that, it runs into an infinite loop and my kernel crashes. My kernel crashes and it becomes very hard for me to reboot it. So in every batch, I have to make sure that I say that I cannot run it. Just understand it will be an infinite loop.
Sorry for being cheeky. So Python can actually do the Matrix movie. Got it.
No, I mean, for a lot of kernels, it might be running into infinite loop. You can stop the kernel and you can restart. For my laptop, it runs into an infinite loop. Even if I stop the kernel, it literally crashes my Anaconda. So that's the reason why I don't run it.
No, got it, got it. No,
Yeah,
I understood that, but wanted to, you know, listen to you
right,
if it's a possibility or not.
right. You can try on your list.
I don't want to now.
Yeah. So it always make sure something inside the loop is changing, and something inside the loop is changing the condition, right? Because if your count doesn't get count doesn't get increased, your condition will always be true. You cannot have a condition which is always true. You have to change the variable's value inside the loop, and only then the loop keeps moving. or else it runs into an infinite loop. That's the reason why while loop is not used that much in Python. I mean, the work can be done with for loop also if you can reconstruct your logic. But in some cases where you don't know that how many times are you supposed to run the loop in advance, and you have a specific condition, only in those cases we use while loop. Usually while loop is avoided. Got that?
Yes. When you're explaining keeps running as long as the definition, it did sound little fishy. So I thought I'll check if that's removed. What will be the consequence like?
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Everybody is clear till here, guys? Can I get a yes or no? What about others? Okay. Now I will say how these use cases are, right? So let's say you have a password for your system. Okay. Let's say the password for your system is 123. You know the password is 123. Now you are taking an external password from user input, let's say. And then you're checking while the user inputted password is not equal to the password that is stored for you. You're basically checking if the person is entering the right password or not. The moment that happens, you will,
Print error.
yeah, you of course will print wrong password,
and break out of it.
or no, no, or keep taking input again because it's a wrong password, right? And the moment it runs, I will print access granted. Right. So let's say I enter a password 456. Now that's a wrong password. So it says wrong password. Enter again. So I'll print 789. Again a wrong password. So until and unless I give the right password, it will keep running and it will keep asking me for my password. And the moment I enter the right password, my access will be granted. Got it?
Yes.
Everybody clear till here?
Yes.
91700 is the username. I'm not sure what is your names. I'm not being able to address you. But I think you are using a list, if I'm not wrong. You're using a list and a dictionary, right?
Yeah, just actually, I saw that we used two inner for loops, so that I was interested in doing just an example. I didn't share it to everyone because I thought, yeah, because some might get confused.
Right. Yeah.
Not actually aware. Yeah, I just wanted to say, yeah, I was just trying. This is really nice.
Oh, okay. Got it. Got it. So I thought you were facing an error. Okay.
No. It is working. Yeah, I got it now. Yeah, there was a syntax error actually, so I resolved that.
All right. Got it. Thank
Yeah,
you.
and it is taking my username from my laptop. I'm not sure. I'll change it by the next time. So yeah, myself name here. Uh, I'll change it.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm.
So Meghna, while runs until the condition is true,
Yeah.
comes true, right? And
Yeah.
for loop runs for a range.
Yeah. For loop runs how many ever times the loop is set to run, or for loop runs for the entire sequence, whether it's a range
Okay.
of numbers or
Mhm,
whatever it
mhm.
is.
Got it. Thank you.
Can you guys quickly execute till here and let me know once you're done? Okay, is everybody back? I mean, is everybody done till here? I got 3 done. What about others? Are you done? Yes? Okay. So let's get on a quick break for 20 minutes and be back in 20 minutes.
Sure. 11:15? No?
Okay, is everybody back, guys?
Yes.
Okay. I've curated few questions for you guys to quickly practice on the loops that we learned so far. I'll send the questions here in the chat box. So can you guys start solving these questions? Again, I'm estimating 3 to 4 minutes per question. And let me know if you are starting to solve it, and let me know once you're done, and also send me the answers to the questions. Can we all do that? Right. Okay, everybody done? I can still see few answers. Are you guys done? I got one done. What about others? Can you please update me the status in the chat box? What about others? That's okay. Okay, let me give you guys 5 more minutes to see how much more can be done. Okay. I can see a couple of people are done. Just wanted to know any questions that you feel is obstructing, like something that is completely off or you couldn't solve. Specifically, any question that you want me to take up, or do you want me to go through all the questions one by one? But just let me know in the chat box. Okay, let me know in the chat box if you want me to go through a particular question, or do you want me to go through all the questions? Okay, 3 and 4, what about others? Got it. What about others? Two more minutes. Okay, meanwhile, let me go over the third question. Third question is simple actually. With while loop, you have to count how many digits are there in a number. Okay, these are like very classic while loop questions. Whenever you learn while loop, these are the questions that anybody will ask you to practice, right? So this is like the classic one. But anyway, let's say there is a number like this. Okay. Now I have to count the number of digits present in this number. So I will use a variable count that is going to store the number of digits present. But obviously initially the value will be 0, right? Because I've not started counting yet. So initially the value will be 0. This is the variable that will store the number of digits present in the variable. Okay. Now while the number is actually greater than 0, right? While the number is actually greater than 0, what I'll do is I'll reduce the number and floor divide by 10. So when you floor divide, what you actually get is the quotient, right? So let's say there is a number like this, 98765. If I floor divide 10, what will be the answer?
Last digit will get omitted.
Okay, what about others? I will get everything except the last digit, right? I will get everything except the last digit. Now, if I take that answer again and then I again floor divide by 10, again the last digit will be omitted. So basically, I'm reducing the number one by one from the last. Yes or no? Yes. So I'm reducing the number from the last one by one, and I'm increasing my count because the moment one digit gets reduced, that means one digit got counted as well, right? And at the end, I'm going to print digits as. So this will count the total number of digits. Now, how did this work? Let's say there is a number like 123. I am saying initially my count is 0 because I've not counted it up till now. Now, what is my condition? My condition is that while number is greater than 0. Yes, my number is greater than 0. So my condition is true. I'm saying that while my number is greater than 0, currently my number is 123. I'm saying while my number is greater than 0, which means my condition is true, I'm entering the loop and I'm reducing the number. So my number equals to number by 10. So right now my number will be reduced to 12 because I did 123 floor division 10. And my count will increase by 1. So count will now become 1. We'll move and check the condition again. 12 is still greater than 0. So again, number will now get reduced to 1. Count will get increased to 2. Again, 1 is still greater than 0. The while 1 is greater than 0, now my number will be 0 and my count will increase to 3. Is 0 greater than 0? No. So I come out of the loop and the number of digits that I could count is 3, and 3 were the number of digits over here as well. Is it clear till here? Everybody could understand till here?
Yes.
Once again, please.
Yeah. So which part do you want me to help you with?
Yeah, the 1, 2, 3 example which you have given. So I understood till like we divide and we get the what is it? The quotient, correct? The
Yeah,
quotient
you
as
divide
1.
and you give the quotient, and your quotient,
Yeah,
when
and
you
the
divide
number gets reduced one by
yes,
one.
right.
After that,
So while the number is getting reduced one by one, your counter variable is also increasing, right? Initially, your count is 0, right? Right?
okay.
Your count is initially equals to 0, right?
Yes, it's 0.
Right. What is your number right now? Is the number's condition true?
Yes, it is true.
So we enter the loop and
Yes,
number becomes what? 9, 8, 7, 6, 5,
5. Yeah, 5.
right?
Yes.
What will happen to
Yes.
count?
Count will increase. From 0, it will become 1.
It will become 1. Number
Mm.
is still true. Condition
Yeah.
is still true.
Yes, still
Now
true. Again,
number
it will
will,
divide and again it will go to the next.
yeah, so
Yeah.
one number got divided, count got
Mm-hmm.
increased.
True.
Again, the number got divided, count got increased.
Okay.
Again, the number got divided, not divided, but reduced, and number
Yeah.
got increased. Again, number got increased. Last one got reduced, number again got increased. Count became 6. Now your number actually became 0. And is 0 greater than 0? No. So condition becomes false. We come out of the loop. The outcome come up as 6.
6. Okay. Got it. Yeah.
Right?
6.
Next question was to print a square pattern using nested for loop with asterisk. So what I wanted you guys to print is something like this. I wanted you guys to print a pattern like this. How do you print this? Using nested for loop. Whenever you see a pattern, it's always nested for loop that will be able to solve it. So here, the concept of using nested for loop is, you have two things, right? You have the I loop and the J loop, right? The outer loop and the inner loop. So maybe the outer loop can control the rows, the inner loop can control the column values. So what I'm doing is, I know that I need 4 rows and 4 columns, right? Is that clear for everyone? I need 4 rows and 4 columns, right? In the pattern that I am putting up as output, I have 4 rows and 4 columns. Can everybody keep answering with me so that you understand easily? Yes. So I will let I control the row and I will let column control the, I will let J control the column. So because I know it is 4 times that it should run, I will give the range as 4 for both of them. Now when I give range of 4 for both of them, how many times will the loop run? How many times will the outer loop run?
4 and 4, 16.
Right, 16 times, that's right. So here if I normally print I comma j, you will see all the values 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 0, 3, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 1, 3. So all the number combinations are getting printed, right? So this is the same nested loop that we had understood. Now here what I'll do is I'll print a string. Okay, I'll print a string. Okay. And I'll tell you what happens if you print asterisk. If you print asterisk, like if you keep printing asterisk, 16 asterisks get printed. Ideally, in this case also, you have 16 asterisks. In right now also, I'm being able to print 16 asterisks. I just have to print the I just have to place the asterisks in the right format. Yes or no? Till here, is it clear? I could print the asterisk 16 times. All I have to do is now place them in the proper square format. Yes or no?
Yes.
Exactly. So my asterisks are getting printed one after the another because print statement by default moves the cursor to the next line, right? So I have to control that. So if I give my end is equals to, let's say, space, now what happens? All the asterisks are getting printed in one single line. So part one of my placement, could I change? Yes, everybody followed till here? Now, all I have to do is after 4 asterisks are getting printed, I want to print the next 4 in the next line. So what I'll do is I'll come out of my inner loop. See, I'm coming out of my inner loop. Okay, I'm coming out of my inner loop and I'm just having an empty print statement. What will an empty print statement do? It will move the cursor to the next line. Now, if you run the code, you will get your asterisks in new lines at each time. Got that? Is it clear till here? The pile, if you do for I in range 4, if you print asterisk multiplied by 4, which is again going to be string repetitions. So when you do asterisk multiplied by 4, that also gives you the answer like this. Right? But I wanted you guys to use nested for loop. That's why I gave the question for nested for loop specifically. Obviously, you can use this as well because this will be string repetition. This is a very simple approach and quite a smart approach as well. But yeah, I wanted you guys to focus on the nested for loop as well. Is it clear till here, everyone? What about others? Yes, pyramid will need nested loop. That's right. Everybody clear? Do you want me to talk about any other question?
Good, thank you.
Okay. Anyway, if you want to complete the first question, you have to print multiplication table of 6, right? So for I in range, and you want to print it 10 times. So for I in range 1, 11, just print n multiplied by I is equal to n into I. This will print your multiplication table of 6. That was the first question. The second question was sum of first 20 natural numbers using a while loop. So I will keep a variable I equals to 10. I will keep a variable total equals to 0. Now, since I want till 20, I will keep my condition while I is less than equals to 20. Total plus equals to I. So it will keep adding the sum and I plus equals to 1 so that it will keep increasing the condition and it will change the variable so that my condition becomes false after a point. And lastly, I'm going to print sum as true. So it will print the sum of first 20 natural numbers. Right? 3 and 4 is already done. I think the fifth question was reverse the digits. Now, reversing the digit is the same concept of how you counted the digits. The reverse is also same concept. So let's say you have a number 123. So for storing the reverse, I will store it in a variable rev equals to 0. Now, while my number is greater than 0, same concept. While my number is greater than 0, I'll keep extracting the digits. Now, how do you extract the digits? See, if you have a number 123, if you do mod of 10, you will always get the last digit. Now, if you reduce the number to 12 and do the mod of 10, you will get the second last digit. Again, if you reduce the number further, and we know how to reduce, right, already, we'll get the first digit. So, for extracting one digit, I can use mod. For reducing, I can use floor division, right? So my digit will be nothing but equals to num mod 10. And reverse will be nothing but reverse into 10 plus digit. And my final reduction that I'll do is in my num floor division 10. So finally, my reversed number is rev. Right? So how did this work? Initially, your number was 123 and reverse was equals to 0. What is my condition? Num is greater than 0. Yes, 123 is greater than 0. So we enter the loop. And when we enter the loop, I'm saying that digit is equals to num mod 10. What is 123 mod 10? 12. Sorry, my bad. What is 123 mod 10? 3. So I could extract the last digit. Now what am I saying? What is rev? Rev equals to rev into 10 plus digit. So what is 0 into 3? 0, right? 0 into 10, 0 plus 3. So rev will now be equals to 3. And my number will get reduced to 12. That's my first iteration. Clear till here? What about others? Could understand till here? Anybody who wants me to repeat? Okay. Now, right now my number is 12. 12 is still greater than 0, right? So we again entered the loop and now digit will be equals to 12 mod 10. What is 12 mod 10? 2, right? And my number will now be calculated, like my reverse will now be reverse into 10 plus digit. What is reverse right now? 3. What is 3 into 10? 30. 30 plus digit. What is digit? 2. 30 plus 2 will become 32. And what will be number be? It will now reduce to 1. 1 is again greater than 0, right? So we again enter the loop. Now digit is equals to 1. Reverse then again gets calculated as 32 multiplied by 10 plus 1. So 321. Num gets reduced to 0. And 0 is not greater than 0. So we come out of the loop and my final answer is the reverse, which is 321. Clear till here, everyone? What about others? Everybody clear? Okay. Then you have to print all odd numbers and reverse. Yeah. So to print all the odd numbers, what you can do is for I in range 1, 31, give a step of 2. This is what we learned yesterday. This will only print the odd numbers, right? So my work will be done. And last question is to print the numbers in reverse using while loop. So I will start with a variable I equals to 10. And while I is actually greater than equals to 1, because I have to print in reverse, so I'm going the opposite way. The first one we learned in while loop was forward, 1, 2, 5. Here I'm moving reverse. Starting from 10, I'm moving towards 1. So I will print I and I will reduce I as minus equals to 1. It will print everything in reverse like this, right? Is this clear till here, everyone? So are we good with today's class, everybody? Yeah,
Yes.
Harshita, but the question mentioned to use while loop. That's why I used while. I've sent the whole file in the chat box. If you want me to send only the questions, I'll do that as well in the chat box. So I've sent both the questions also and then the entire code file as well. All right. Okay. Thank you so much, guys, for joining in. I'll see you guys in the next class. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye.
You, Meghna. Bye.